We will talk about that because schools ought to be the engines of social mobility, and therefore when you bring about the aspect of hospitality and what needs to be done otherwise, taking the attention off what's important. What about Torotich? The watchword here is discipline and preparing learners to be better persons and to be useful members of the society. But how can that be instilled? We have cases of corporal punishments. Should we rather focus now on persuasion and rather talking to them to establish that communication channel?
One is that we must know that outlawing of corporal punishment is a recent phenomenon in Kenya that was brought about by the 2010 Constitution, which under Article 29 of the Constitution outlawed corporal punishment. You're aware also that Kenya is a signatory to several international instruments, including the right. We remember that when we passed the 2010 Constitution, there was Article 2526 that say that international instruments that have been ratified by Kenya, treaties, shall form part of the laws of Kenya. And if you look at international law, it, especially the Convention on the Right of the Child, it specifically provides that no child shall be subjected to punishment. And of course, punishment includes torture, servitude, degrading and inhuman treatment has been defined to include a punishment. And so what the schools both should know, what the institutions in Kenya should know, is that corporal punishment is outlawed under the Constitution and under international law. So the question here that we want to follow up is on enforcement of the fundamental constitutional principle on corporal punishment. So the issue is, it is illegal. What is needed in Kenya is to enforce that particular legislation. Yes, that particular provision of law.
But you've cited, like, say, the Constitution of Kenya, 2010.
Yes.
2010 is about, is it 13 years ago?
Yeah.
We're still talking about corporal punishment. There was the enactment of the Children's Act in 2011. It was amended in 2022.
Yes.
We're still talking about corporal punishment. Ayub there talked about the Basic Education Act of 2013. How many years down the line, we're still talking about the same issue?
The issue is, in this country, we still believe in some moral values, some traditional cultural values. Because when we were brought up when we were young, even the doctor here, we believe that they say that you spoil the road, you spoil the child, which is biblical. And most of Kenyans, they are very religious, and they still believe that a child should be caned, a child should be disciplined, so that they are morally upright. So to bring that moral, the cultural practice, to actuate it into law, needs some element of practice, some element of enforcement procedures by those who are in charge with enforcement of the law, even our schools, so that that culture that you must be able to discipline a child, that culture by our communities, somehow in line with the Constitution, do not merge as such. So there must be an enforcement mechanism. There must be some teaching involved in that aspect.
Yeah. Dr. Fernandez.